Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Dream Children from the collection The Essays of Elia by Charles Lamb. In the beginning of the essay, we find Alice and John, that is Lamb's children, coming close to Lamb to know something about the great grandmother Field, that is Charles Lamb's grandmother Field. Lamb tells them that Field was a very pious means God fearing, good, and popular in that area. And she lived in a very big house. Actually, she was not the owner of the house belonged to someone else, but she was in charge of that house. And so she took very good care of the house, and in fact, she made many handmade ornaments to decorate the house. In fact, after her death, the house came to decay because the owner of the house, being attracted by these ornaments made by his grandmother, took all that and put it in another place. But since these ornaments were done in such a way that it will be suitable for their house, it did not suit the other house and it looked really awkward. On hearing this, John started smiling because he could understand how something which is looking so very good in one place will definitely not suit another place. Then Lamb told the children about Field's funeral. And he says, in that funeral, all the poor people, all the gentry, and all the neighborhood came there. Hearing this, Alice could understand how very good her grandmother should have been, that is, her great grandmother should have been, and how much the people would have loved her. And to show her admiration, she spreads her hands up. Then Lamb tells them that his grandmother Field was the best dancer in her youth. Hearing this, Alice's little right foot starts doing certain movements. But when Lamb looks seriously, she immediately stops her movements. Next, he told the children that Field used to sleep in that big house alone. She was not at all afraid because she was a very courageous person. In fact, she has also told that she used to see two infants in the midnight gliding up and down the staircase. When John hears this, he expands his eyebrows and he also tries to look very courageous because he wants to show that he is also courageous like his great grandmother. Then, after putting down of the memories of his grandmother, Lamb tells about his boyhood times when he spent with his grandmother. As a child, whenever he used to get holidays, he used to come and stay there to visit his grandmother. And he used to spend his time roaming in the huge building in all its empty rooms and in the large garden. And he says that he used to spend his time in busy idle diversions. Idle diversions means you'll be doing something, but it is not to learn something or to improve yourself, but your time will be very busy. And he says, however time he spends in the garden, he was never tempted to pluck the fruits from the trees in the garden. Hearing this, John slyly puts back a bunch of grapes on a plate which he had quietly picked up a little earlier with the intention to share with Alice. After telling about his grandmother, Lamb goes on to talk about his brother John. John was a handsome and courageous youth, and John was very much fond of riding and hunting. And then starts speaking about John's death. Hearing this, the children began to cry and they request their father not to tell them anything more about Uncle John because John had told them so many times about him. But now they want to listen about their pretty dead mother. Lamb tells them that how for 7 long years he had courted the fair Alice W.N., sometimes in hope and sometimes in despair. And while saying this, John gazes at his children and he finds that both of them are gradually growing fainter and fainter and fainter. And finally they disappear and he can see only 2 sad features which appeared to be saying, "We are not Alice, nor of thee, nor are we children at all." And with this, Lamb wakes up from his daydreaming which he had while sitting in his bachelor's chair. Actually, those who have read Charles Lamb's biography will know that Charles did not marry at all because he had a sister who was affected by madness, and in her madness, she had once stabbed her mother, which led to his mother's death. And after that, he took full comfort, and he wanted to take care of his sister. And for his sister's sake, in fact, he even had to give up the idea of marriage for some time. And because she could not be kept in London, we all know that Charles Lamb is a very famous writer, and living in London would have made his life more easier. But he had to leave London and go to a quiet countryside for his sister's sake. And he used to invite his friends every month, and they used to have this literary circle. And it is not that he did not want to marry at all. He was really in courtship with a beautiful lady called Anne Simons, but she rejected his love. And later on also, with the full consent of his sister, he proposed to Fanny Kelly, an actress, which was again rejected. And later on, he remained a bachelor throughout his life. And this essay shows how much he longed for a family life and children, and it's a very beautiful and popular essay. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.